whose job was to look after the sheep for the men of the village. At first, the shepherd boy enjoyed his work. He kept little lambs from getting lost and safe from the fierce wolf who lived in the nearby forest. The shepherd boy kept himself from getting bored by making up songs on his flute. But one day, even playing his flute wasn't enough to keep him from feeling bored and lonely. There is never anyone to talk to, just a flock of silly, bleating sheep. I wish something exciting would happen. Maybe the fierce wolf will sneak out of the woods. Suddenly, the shepherd boy had a great idea. In a loud voice, so all the men of the village could hear, he shouted, "Look, and quick, look, and quick, the shepherd boy did cry. Look, and quick, look, and quick, the sheep will surely die. The men of the village came running with spears, pitchforks, and sticks. But when they reached the pasture, of course, there was no fierce wolf. The shepherd boy told them that his yelling had scared off the fierce wolf. Even though some of the men doubted his story, several stayed the rest of the day just to be sure. The shepherd boy had someone to talk to, so he was happy. For the next few days, the shepherd boy enjoyed his quiet work and made up more new songs on his flute. But then boredom set in again, and before long, the men of the village again heard, "Look, and quick, look, and quick, the shepherd boy did cry. Look, and quick, look, and quick, the sheep will surely die. Once again, they came running with spears, pitchforks, and sticks. And once again, when they reached the pasture, there was no fierce wolf. This time, all the men of the village were angry. "Where are the tracks of the fierce wolf?" they asked. The shepherd boy pointed to some tracks near the stream, but they were just the tracks of the sheep. "You have deceived us twice," said the angry men of the village. "Don't bother to call us again because we know what you are up to." This time, no one stayed to talk with the shepherd boy. He felt bad because he was still lonely, and the men of the village were angry at him too. He promised himself that he would try harder to be a good shepherd. A few days later, as the shepherd boy was playing his flute, the fierce wolf did come out of the forest and headed right for the sheep. Without wasting a second, the shepherd boy shouted, "Look, and quick, look, and quick, the shepherd boy did cry. Look, and quick, look, and quick, the sheep will surely die. Quick!" Nothing happened. No one came, and the fierce wolf was creeping closer and closer to the sheep. So the shepherd boy, thinking that his cry for help had not been heard, yelled in his very loudest voice, "Look, and quick, look, and quick, the shepherd boy did cry. Look, and quick, look, and quick, the sheep will surely die. Quick!" The men of the village had heard the cries for help, but had said, "That shameful boy is trying to trick us again. There is no fierce wolf. Let's just keep on with our work." When no one came to help, the shepherd boy tried to beat off the intruder with his staff, but before he did, the fierce wolf killed one of the little lambs and carried it off to the forest for his dinner. Then the shepherd boy ran down from the pasture to tell the men of the village what had happened and to find out why no one had come to help. When he heard the story, the village leader said, "You deceived us twice, and we thought you were deceiving us again. If you want help when you are in trouble, you must call only when you really need help. No one believes a liar, even when he speaks the truth."